First question for you would be, why do you want to be a representative in Pennsylvania?
Well, there are a few reasons. Right now, I think we're facing some very serious and troubling times in the 119th District, in Luzerne County, and in the state. I always cite the newspaper headlines as proof of that. Just recently in our district, we've seen the loss of 140 jobs at Certainteed. The good people down at Sallie Mae are very concerned that they may lose jobs despite the report that came out this morning. We're all fully aware of the tax implications that are occurring at the county level. We're aware of the budget shortfalls with regard to the Department of Transportation and the teacher and state worker pension issue that's going to rear its ugly head in 2012. And on top of that, on a more personal level, I see what my mother and my in-laws are going through, people who've worked their entire life to get to a point or a part of their life where they thought they would be able to retire and enjoy their golden years, and they're finding that more and more increasingly difficult to do. I know my father-in-law is considering re-entering the workforce. I look at people from my generation, and given the tax burden on us, we're finding it hard, if we're lucky enough to have jobs, to put away money for retirement, to put money into Act 527 plans for our kids, or to even enjoy a simple thing like a trip down to Ocean City for a week or a weekend. But I'm most concerned about my children and their generation. I have 4 kids under the age of 9, and I just feel that what we're leaving them is a travesty. And if we don't begin to manage our government more appropriately, there's going to be no future here for them. So it was those things that have caused me to enter the race. I think we need leaders that have the voice, the vision, and the character to help get us out of these troubling times and move us forward to a better and brighter future. And that's why I've entered the race, and that's why I've run in the past too. I thought that I could bring something to the table that was different, that was fresh, that was independent, and I believe I'm doing it for the right reasons.
Take me through the decision-making process when you found out the seat was available. Who do you consult with, and what kind of questions do you ask?
Well, the first consultation occurred at a table much smaller than this in my kitchen, and that was a conversation between me and my wife. I had just gone through this last year, and when as I ran for Prothonotary in the Democratic primary, and after that process was over, my wife made a joke that my grandmother had made 8 years earlier after I ran unsuccessfully against Jill Moran in the Democratic primary, and the joke was, now go take a shower and get all that dirt off of you, because this is a horrible process, and I hope we never have to go through that again. So when I sat down with her, she said, didn't we just have this conversation last May? And I said, we did. I said, but we have 4 kids sleeping upstairs, and I believe their futures are on the line, and if you have faith in me to try to go out there and do the right thing for them, then you need to support me, and of course she did. From there, we extended the conversation to the extended family and my close knit group of friends, my law partner, and again, the support was overwhelming. I then reached out to John Yudichak to get his input on it. John and I have been friends since we're 5 years old. And I reached out to some community leaders, not just political leaders, but community leaders, people who are involved in chambers of commerce and civic organizations like Plymouth Alive. And I'm a volunteer in several civic organizations in the Nanticoke and Newport area. I reached out to those people to gauge support. And when all was said and done, I received nothing but positive reinforcement. So I made the decision to try to replace John in the 119th.
And just a little bit of biographical information. It is your business, Casper and Mullery?
That's correct.
And who is Casper? Tell us about
Sam Casper is an attorney. I believe he's 52, 53 years old. I met him when I was in-house counsel for Lackawanna Insurance Group, which is one of your neighbors right here in the Martz building. He was handling defense work for that monoline, mono-state insurance company. And I had never really anticipated branching out and becoming an entrepreneur, but it's something that I guess runs in my family. My father owned and operated Sport Chest Sporting Goods in Plymouth until his death, and when the opportunity presented itself, I decided that it was in my best interest to go that route. Sam is probably the only lawyer in Luzerne County that I would have partnered up with. He's just a very knowledgeable man. I've learned a lot working with him, and he has great character, and if you want to know what he's thinking about any issue, he's the kind of guy that you ask him and there are no holds barred, no strings. He tells you, and I feel I'm the same type of man, and I have a feeling I'm going to answer questions here today that may shock you and may shock some of the viewers when they see this on the internet. But that's who I am, and that's the way I live, and I deal with the ramifications of those things.
And does the practice have a specialty area?
Workers' compensation defense. Probably about 90% of our work is workers' compensation defense. We represent several insurance carriers, some private employers, and some third-party administrators. The remainder of our practice, we do have the occasional claimant case, simply because you get family, friends refer those types of cases to you, knowing that that's what we do primarily, so that's our field of expertise. We will handle the occasional personal injury matter or Social Security if it's connected to one of our other clients, but generally we're a workers' compensation firm.
If elected, what happens to the business?
It has to take a back seat, and then that was part of the discussion that I had with Sam Casper. If elected, I will be a full-time state representative. I'm fortunate enough in that I have a partner who has been working 12, 14, 16-hour days his entire career. He has been able to taper that back. Now, once I joined the firm 5 years ago, but he's ready to step up and do that. Also, we have the ability to hire. Since I started, we've been able to hire 3 additional support staff to help take some of the pressure off of us as attorneys and allow us to do what we need to do, but relieving some of the administrative duties of the job. So if needed, I could certainly hire an attorney to handle the majority of my caseload.
And previously you worked for a firm, Michael O'Connor, is it, and Associates?
Yep, that was my first job out of law school down in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania. I went to law school at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh. I don't want to say I was pigeonholed, but the firm I was working for in Pittsburgh was a workers' compensation defense law firm. They had offered me a job to stay. I had always intended on coming back. My wife had always intended on coming back. We met in high school, so this is our home. So the firm that I was working for made some calls to workers' compensation practitioners in this area, and one of the persons that they reached out to was Mike O'Connor. Mike O'Connor said, well, if you're referring this guy, then I'll take a look at him. I came in, met with Mike, and he hired me.